And so now we've come to what is, in my opinion, the worst in the whole series. Jason Goes to Hell. Which, it doesn't say it on the spine, the cover, or the disc, or anywhere else really. But originally this was called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Because, it says it right there in the liner notes. Final Friday. Because after Part 8 did very poorly, Paramount was sort of... It was like the embarrassing redheaded stepchild for Paramount. They sold the rights to Friday the 13th to New Line. Or the film rights. I think Sean S. Cunningham still owned the name Friday the 13th. So that's why this one and the next one are Jason films. And it's kind of weird, like, why in the hell would New Line buy the film rights just to create a film, just to end the series? Maybe it was because their flagship series is Nightmare on Elm Street, biggest rival. But that same year, I think it was the same year, 1993, they did Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So they ended their flagship series too. Well, then they did New Nightmare, but then it was pretty much over. That was like unrelated. This though, I know some people like it. Like, I know Rambo Rap for Life, this is his favorite of the series. There are people that really like this movie, and that's fine. This is known as a polarizing movie. People either love it, or they fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Now, this was not one of the ones I got for Christmas back when I was 12. But I did buy it shortly after. And I did know a little bit about this movie. You know, I knew what Jason looked like. I knew he got stabbed with a dagger. Because, you know, internet was around back then. It wasn't what it's like now. But what I did not know is Jason gets blown the fuck up in the first 10 minutes. So I was like, okay, well, where's this gonna go? And shortly after, I knew I was in trouble. I've never been much of a supernatural fan. I mean, I've always liked zombie movies. I've always liked The Shining. That's always been my favorite movie. But that's done well. You know, for ghost movies, I've always been a fan of John Carpenter's The Fog. You know, I can deal with supernatural if it's done well. And I do have to commend them. You know, this is the 9th film. The 9th film in 13 years. You know, between 1980 and 93, they made 9 movies. That's a short amount of time. So I do kind of got to commend them for trying to do something different. I just don't think that different worked well. At all. You know, having Jason be more or less a shapeshifter, or at least being able to go from body to body to body. And I will say the only thing I like about this movie, which one, even the look of Jason is kind of dopey looking. I mean, I like the fact that his face has grown around the hockey mask. He's been wearing it so long. But just right in the beginning, there was just so many things that even as a 12-year-old I picked up on. I will say, well, okay, what I was going to say was the one thing I can give it is the gore and the effects, which were done by, I want to see if it was done by the whole company or just done by him. It doesn't say on here. It was done by Greg Nicotero. I think it was done by K&B, but I know at least Greg Nicotero had a hand in it. And it sucks because they are the goriest and best effects in the whole series. Even more than the original. You get some really, like, some parts are almost like dead alive, gross, but realistic effects. Like when the cop is melting, which I'll get to. I do like the opening. The opening, because it was directed by Adam Marcus, and it was written by Marcus, also with Sean S. Cunningham, who directed the original and produced the original. Cunningham produced this one. And Adam Marcus, he had made one film before in film school. He was fresh out of film school. He was like in his early 20s. The youngest person ever directed a film in the series. It was his first time writing a film, first time directing a film. Because I think the one he did in film school was a documentary. And this film has constantly been criticized for the writing and the direction by Adam Marcus. And I can't disagree. Fangoria says, this has the most incredible ending we've ever seen. I mean, as a kid, that very ending was cool. Now it's just, I'm not as excited about it. But anyway, I like the opening because you have this woman driving out to Crystal Lake. And they put all the cliches into one opening, which I thought was cool. You have her, she gets to a cabin, a light bulb burns out, she has to change the light bulb. She's getting ready for a shower. She opens the medicine cabinet, but she shuts it, there's nothing there. She gets ready for the shower. Lights go out, there's like the dun-dun, dun-dun. A little bit of nudity. So they threw in all the cliches into one opening. I was like, okay. I'll give them that. My fucking nose could stop running, that'd be great. So then Jason's chasing her. He chases her around the cabin and then through the woods. And I don't know why, but like, even when he's walking, he's like grunting. He's like, "Ruh, ruh, ruh." Like, he sounds like Madman Mars. And then they make it to this field, spotlights come on, and there's a SWAT team, and they're just shooting him. He's like, and then there's like this slow motion part where he screams, and literally his scream sounds just like John Goodman. And then the bomb comes in, blows him up. First 10 minutes of the movie. So then we get some of the most over-the-top, cheesy 90s horror movie credits. Flaming letters put over who did the score? Okay, Harry Manfredini. I forgot he came back. I was gonna say the score sounds like Harry Manfredini's original score on crack. But that's interspersed with the coroner who's audio recording Jason's autopsy. And then when the credits are over, he sees Jason's heart and it's pumping. And he's sort of like, and then he eats the fucking thing. I've never been able to figure out why. As a kid, I thought a heart had him in a trance. I thought maybe he's some sort of perv that's always wanted to eat a still beating heart. He knew it was Jason Voorhees and he thought he had to destroy it. Don't know, doesn't say. But right then, even as a kid, I knew I was in trouble. Because then this stupid thing happens. He eats the heart, and he goes like this, and like all these beams of light are going, phew, 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 phew. And then he does like this scream. It's like in slow motion, and he screams almost like a dinosaur or like a lion. He screams like the shark does in Jaws: The Revenge, which everyone hated that too. So then the coroner's possessed by Jason. You see him walk by a reflective surface, and Jason's a reflection. And there's these two guards out in front of the morgue. And one of them is played by Kane Hodder. And even Kane Hodder calls Jason a pussy. They get killed. And then it's just pretty much Jason going around possessing different people. Killing. The kills are great. I can give it that, but I can't give the movie the pass. You know, he makes his way out to the woods, and there's the two girls and a guy. I can't remember how the one girl gets killed. But the other two are having sex in the tent. She even throws the condom outside. Because Adam Marcus said, well, as a Friday 13th, you have sex, you die. And what's even more irresponsible is not using a condom. So she throws the condom out, and you see Jason, like, step on it. Because you can hear his footsteps coming. And he said people were, like, screaming when he stepped on the condom. Okay. He has this this road sign pole. Sends it through the tent, and because she's on top, comes through here. You get, if you watch the unrated version, it like rips up through here. She like splits apart, and then you hear he dies off screen. It's like a squash. Then there's like this diner, this burger joint, which they're having like this Jason's Dead like promotion where the burgers are made to look like hockey masks. Which, it's kind of weird. I've always thought about this. Jason was kind of an unknown in parts 2, 3, and 4. Or maybe they knew him in 4. But then he was dead for a long time. And then it was like, you know, he came back in 6 for a bit. 7, you know, it was way out in the woods. Only 2 people knew who he was. You know, he was almost like an urban legend. Like Cropsey or something. But, you know, they're making these hockey masks, burger patties, as if they knew this mass killer was out in the woods this whole time, just killing people for decades. And then they're just like, well, I guess we're going to have to bring the SWAT team in since, you know, all these other instances didn't kill him. I don't know. What I'm saying might not even make sense to anyone, but it was just something I found weird. And one of the women at the diner, her daughter just had a baby. The dad's not around. The dad left, but the dad wants to be around. So she tells the dad, you know, come by my house, we'll talk about it. And when he's on the way to her house, that's when he picks up the 3 teens that just got killed. He drops them off. And actually, before all that, there's this cop that's friends with the woman. Jason, as the coroner, takes him, and you get one of the weirdest scenes in the whole series, maybe even slashers in general. Jason's back, and he takes the cop to his childhood home, the Voorhees home. The cop is strapped down naked to a table, you know, like this, with his legs, with like a little strap covering his junk. And Jason is straight shaving him. And you don't know why. It's like, okay, we're supposed to believe that Jason is the mentally challenged mongoloid who is also just an unstoppable force of death. But now he understands the finer points of male cosmetology. So he shaves him, and then he goes in to give him mouth to mouth, but you know, the cord just goes towards the camera. But we get what happens. And Adam Marcus's reasoning for the homoerotic shaving, as everyone calls it, is because he wanted to throw in as many taboos as possible. You had not just a sort of guy-on-guy kiss, even though it's mouth-to-mouth. It's interracial, because the coroner's black, the cop's white. The cop is like a sort of somewhat out of shape, middle-aged man. He even said, it's not Brad Pitt, it's this guy. So he's trying to make it just as different as possible. But then when you see the cop again, he's wearing his cop uniform. So I'm guessing he didn't want to get shaving cream on the cop uniform. Which I know later on, when the cop transfers Jason to someone else, you can kind of see why. But even then, the cop still wore his clothes, and so did the other guy. So Adam Marcus just put it in there just be fucking cuz. This is one of the many reasons why this movie just... It could have been anything else but Jason. It's like one of those Hellraiser movies. That's not really Hellraiser, but they couldn't sell the script, so they just slapped Hellraiser and put Pinhead in it. It just feels not right. Which I know, this was always intended to be part of the series. It just doesn't fucking feel like it. So then the cop goes to that woman's house that's supposed to be talking to the father of her granddaughter. The cop comes, Jason kills her. But she sees the reflection that is Jason. He strangles her. So when the guy shows up, she's dead. Cops show up, thinks he did it, puts him in jail. And also there's this black bounty hunter, played by... I never saw 21 Jump Street, the TV show, but I guess he's in that. The character's name is Creighton Duke. I think they're trying to create a memorable character. Played by Stephen Williams. He was also the black cop on Blues Brothers. I'll get that sucker. It's the last thing I ever do. That shitbox Dodge again. That guy from Blues Brothers. And you know, he's dressed sort of like, he's got like a cowboy hat, dark clothes, sort of dressed like a Dark Tower kind of looking guy. And he's interviewed on TV shortly after Jason gets killed, saying he knows the mythology of Jason. You know, he's sort of like the guy that has all the answers of all these horror guys. And really stupid lines. Like the TV show host says, I'm going to say something, I want you to tell me what you think of. Jason Voorhees. It makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut. So, I don't know what that means. So, he got picked up for some reason. So, and just so I can stop calling him the dad or the ex-husband, he's played by John D. LeMay, who was the lead in the Friday the 13th TV series. So they're in neighboring cells, and he's... The bounty hunter guy, Creighton Duke, is sort of telling him who really did it and why. But every time the guy asks a question about what he's talking about, he says he has to pay the price. And the price is he has to break one of his fingers. And again, trying to add more mythology to Jason, it doesn't work. I mean, I understand Adam Marcus is a longtime fan of the series, just like the guy that wrote or produced Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers. But what is it with these lifelong fans that just come up with these off, like, left field, totally bad ideas that just creates a mythology that nobody asked for? It's more like fan fiction. That's what it should have stayed as. So basically, Creighton Duke tells him Jason has a sister, you know, because when they have no more ideas, they just add family members. So he has a sister. And a Voorhees, he was born, and through a Voorhees, he can be reborn. So that's why he became the coroner to get out. He became the cop to get close to her, because where she's his sister, he can be reborn through her in his actual Jason form. And so that would make her daughter his niece, and then her daughter his great niece. So John D. LeMay finds a way out of the prison because he wants to help his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend and the daughter he's never met. And she's actually dating the TV show host that interviewed Creighton Duke. Which the TV show host goes to the Voorhees house. I can't remember why. And that's where the cop, transfers Jason from him to the host. And then I guess when you transfer a body like that, it just melts. And the effects are great. The effects look beautiful. I mean, just melting. It's gory and horrific. Also, Adam Marcus wanted to put Easter eggs. So, like, down in the cellar of this house, you have the Evil Dead Necronomicon. You have a crate that says Arctic Expedition 1834 from Creepshow. And I can't remember if it's that scene or later when you see this form of Jason that goes from body to body. A fucking stupid ass demon slugworm. So now the TV show host possessed by Jason. And I will say some of the scenes with him were cool. Like he goes into because he's trying to find either the baby or the daughter, the mother of the baby. So like he goes to the diner, fucks some people up there. Like this one woman who's basically... It was basically the redheaded woman from 2.5 Men, which I can't believe I'm referencing that show. But she's also in Edward Scissorhands. She's just a loudmouth, overweight redhead. He punches her and punches her jaw like way in. This other guy, I guess like the son, because she's married to the cook who gets dunked in friggin' frying oil, which I used to work at fast food, and that shit is fucking horrific. I guess like their son has like a gun, but he gets like his arms bent all the way back, and his arms are all fucked up. Then he goes to the police station, fucks up a bunch of cops there, Terminator style. I'll say that's cool, but the only reason why that's cool is because by that point, I'm forgetting I'm watching this. It feels like I'm watching something unfucking related. Then some more shit happens that I don't remember. Pretty much, John D. LeMay, his ex, the baby, end up at the Voorhees house. Oh yeah, Jason transferred himself from the cop to this other cop who's John D. LeMay's buddy. And I mean, he only got his throat slit or something. It looks like maggots are in it. And the stupid demon slugworm, which also has little arms, like little Tom Servo arms that you can't see, crawls out of his neck, and the body of his sister is still down in the cellar. She's wearing a waitress dress, goes right up her cooch. Which the actress was appalled by that. She never agreed to it, but they did it anyway. So from there, Jason is reborn as himself. And, there's a big fight between him and John D. LeMay, where John D. LeMay is getting his ass kicked. Then finally, the ex-wife or whatever grabs the ceremonial dagger, which of course they had to make it a certain dagger that's the only way you can kill him. Stabs him in the heart, and then like all those beams of light are going back up into the sky. assuming it's the people he's killed. I don't know. And then, like, all these, like, grass and dirt demons are coming out of the ground, grabbing him, pulling him under. And then the three of them are walking off into the sunset. And I will say, this ending, it is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't think it's as cool now, even as a horror fan, even as a slasher fan. But when I was a kid, I thought it was awesome. This is what Fangoria must be talking about. Because Adam Marcus realized, hey, we're making this for New Line. New Line also owns Elm Street. So the camera goes down to the ground where Jason's hockey mask is. And it zooms all the way in, and then Freddy's glove, worn by Kane Hodder, comes out and pulls his mask down to hell. So it was that idea back in '93 where everyone knew, like, we're getting Freddy vs. Jason. Or even if everyone always says vs. Jason, but at least the movie we're there together. You're like, we're gonna get Freddy vs. Jason because they just did that. And they always follow up movies. Yeah, there's a ton of movies that are left open-ended that they still haven't made sequels to. That I would actually like to see a sequel to. Then it stayed in development hell for 10 years. You had another shitty movie in between this and Freddy vs. Jason. But, yeah, this movie, I think it's a piece of shit. I know it has its fan base. I hate it. I hate the supernatural body swapping. I hate the whole extended mythology with the extended family, and you know, I understand for the 9th movie you gotta do something different, but I didn't like the difference in this. I actually like Takes Manhattan more than this, and that movie's a piece of shit. I've been going on for almost a half hour for why I hate this movie. Actually, mostly describing the plot, but yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. This is one of those sequels like Alien 3, Cabin Fever 2, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Texas Chainsaw Next Generation. This is one of those sequels for me. Just the worst of the bunch. Just, I don't even like to consider it part of the series, but I have to. Even though the next movie, I think, kind of discredits it, which I'm thankful for, but even part 10 is a fucking pile of ass. But yeah, I hate this movie. I hate everything about it. What sucks even more is that it has the best gore, the best effects, and is part of the shittiest movie. But yeah, part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, I fucking hate. Worthless movie. It feels like a bigger movie because New Line has it, but it doesn't do anything new. Well, I mean, bring anything new that's worth it. I mean, obviously it's new, but yeah, I've been going on way too long about that movie. I hate Jason Goes to Hell. Has it grown on me a bit? Yeah, fuck that movie.